Hello, Voyagers. Welcome to the Fantastic Voyages and More channel. I come today to talk about travel insurance. Travel insurance is just like any other insurance. It protects, and what it protects is your vacation. Travel insurance is a low cost measure that is to be purchased when you purchase your vacations in the event something happens. And in the light of what all has went on with COVID-19 and countries closing up their borders, states closing up their borders, locations being closed, there was a lot of money lost. Travel insurance, it covers medical emergencies. There was an instance where a couple went on a vacation and the wife, I believe, she had cancer, but she was well enough to travel and her doctor cleared her to travel. And once she was on the vacation, she took sick and she had to be left in that particular country in the hospital. And she was very medically fragile. And the couple, they exhausted. They went through all their money paying for medical coverage. And the wife, she was, I believe they were in Canada or in Alaska. She was begging, do not let me die in this place. Do not let me die in this place. She wanted to be flown back to her home of Washington, D.C. so that she could end her life there. Well, not she end her life, but live her last days at home around her family and loved ones. She was going to need a medevac. What a medevac is when you travel with all this medical equipment, and it was going to cost $50,000 to fly her back to the location. The family didn't have the money. And this would have been something that was covered had they purchased the insurance. The insurance probably would have been, depending on what level of coverage, $50 to $100 per person. $50 to $100 to fly her back home. They eventually partnered with a church that was there, and the church did fundraisers to get her back home. However, if they would have opted in for the insurance, this would have been covered. Insurance, it covers trip interruption. Say you're on a resort somewhere and you get a phone call. Your son got sick. You need to rush back home. What if you purchased a ticket that was non-refundable, no changes, so you just lost money? What that trip interruption would have covered, you could have, hey, I got insurance. Get you another ticket and go on home. It would have covered that. And then you would have got a refund for your remaining days. Insurance covers, let me think of some of the key components. It covers misconnection. Say you know how airlines are. Flights are always being changed constantly. I've been on planes and had to deboard the plane for whatever reason. Or it's bad weather. I've been stuck on the runway. We're going to have to delay the flight because it's bad weather. And you're looking around, bad weather where? And the pilot will tell you it's 12 minutes away if you look to the west. And sure enough, in 12 minutes, here's this storm. Well, because of this delay, your tickets may have been right there together. So now I'm going to miss that connection. I'm going to miss the next connection. I'm going to get home later when I'm going to get to my meeting. You get paid for that. I've been on a vacation where when I got ready to check in, the person that worked for the airline, he was like, do it at the kiosk. And I was like, no, I don't have a good rapport with the kiosk. Let me do it at the window with a human. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. They want you to do it at the kiosk. And he kept on and kept on and kept on till I was like, okay, I'll do it at the kiosk. Well, when I got ready to walk through the airport and I looked at the receipt and the person that was traveling with me, I was like, here's your receipt for your luggage. She was like, no, you don't have the receipt for my luggage because here are my receipts for my luggage right here. And I'm thinking, okay, something's going to be wrong. And guess what? When I got the baggage claim, there was no luggage for me. That guy had made a mistake. And I think my luggage arrived. I had been home maybe 2 or 3 days. And the airline called me and said, hey, we have your luggage. Well, what this coverage does is it pays if your luggage is delayed or lost. After so many hours, I think after 6 hours, they will cut you a check. They ask you how you want it. Do you want it PayPal? Do you want me to direct deposit? Or do you want me to mail a check? Of course you don't want a check mail because you're away from home and you don't have any luggage, any underwear, any toothbrush, anything. So they'll send this money immediately to you so that you can get your essential items. You give them like a breakdown of what was in it or whatever. If you never get your luggage, and they'll pay you up to, depending on the coverage, but like I think the cheapest coverage, you get $500 for your luggage. I had a computer that was broken. My insurance covered it. You know how it is on the Caribbean when it's hurricane season, July the 1st to like late fall. Every year I have a customer that books in October. Her husband is a school teacher and he always likes to book during fall break. Every year, I don't care what port they port from, they get caught up in a hurricane where their trip is shortened. Guess what? They always purchase the insurance because they know October runs the risk. Their last cruise was a 7-day cruise. So they cut out one of the ports, which was Jamaica. Guess what? They got paid because that port was missed. Any money that they spent the day because they were still at home and their ship was supposed to sail that Sunday, but it sailed that Monday, for every item, every piece of food that they put in their mouth, they submitted those receipts and they got paid because guess what? They were supposed to be on the ship eating. So anything that they had to pay, if they had to change their airline tickets to meet the new takeoff, if they had to get a hotel room to accommodate them because they arrived a day before thinking that they were going to leave, all that, those things were taken care of through the insurance. Insurance, it saves a lot of headaches. Do you know how many headaches I had this year with COVID-19? I always, the way I do business and my T&Cs, my terms and conditions, I always have the clients to sign something opting out. No, yes, I was offered a no cost obligation. No, I don't want it. People always say, oh, I'm going on a trip. I don't care what happens. I'm going on a trip. But you know, COVID-19, it didn't give us those options. Next week, I'm supposed to be in Jamaica. Was all set to go to Jamaica. But guess what? Jamaica borders aren't going to be open. So guess what? If you didn't purchase the insurance, you just out of $1,500, $2,000, when all it would have cost you were probably less than $100. Insurance, it may seem like, well, nah, I don't need it, but guess what? You need it. You're not going to drive your car without insurance. And insurance, I mean, it's so simple. They give you, I'm going to read you one of my brochures. I'm licensed to sell travel insurance, and I can tell you exactly how it reads and what some of the costs are. It says, trip cancellation, 100% of your trip costs, up to a $50,000. Now, I would love to book a trip that costs $50,000. Trip interruption, 150%. So if you pay $1,000 for a vacation and your trip got interrupted, you could get back $1,500. That's amazing. That's like up to a $75,000 limit. That's amazing. It pays for sickness, injury, and death. And people think, well, I got medical insurance, so if I get sick in Mexico, my medical insurance will cover me. Guess what? When you are in another country, your medical insurance in the United States does not work. We went on a family cruise once, and we went to like one of the special cocktail hours, and one of the guys, he ate some shrimp or something, and then we went on a dinner. He started turning blue and red in the face, and they had to summon the medic to come, and they took him, and I think they gave him a shot of epinephrine, you know, the stuff for allergy to keep it, you know, to open his airway. He got ready to get off the ship. Ding! So he trying to find out what the ding is. You owe $750. He had to pay $750 in order to walk off the ship. And he was like, well, I just squared up. I'll square it up when I get home with my insurance. When he got home, guess what his insurance told him? We don't cover if you leave the country. You're on your own. Had he purchased insurance, he would have been covered. It covers mechanical breakdown. I know somebody that was on a ship and the ship broke down, and they had to bring a ship in to tow it, and they towed them to Texas, although their flight was in New Orleans, so they had to figure out a way on how to get to New Orleans and then back home to DC. They had had insurance. It would have been covered. Financial default. There was a major insurance supplier this year that went belly up. People had paid for their vacations, calling. Could not get a hold of the company. Guess what? They didn't purchase insurance. All lost. And a lot of times your credit card companies are not going to let you do a chargeback because If you sign agreeing to this, it's all lost. Now, if you're lucky and you have one of the good companies, then yeah, you're okay with your insurance company. It pays for traffic accident. Say you're driving to the airport and you have an accident, you miss your flight. Guess what? Travel insurance kicks in. It pays for inclement weather. It pays for death, hospitalization of the host. It pays for home, destination uninhabitable. It pays for military duty. Military call, you gotta go. You can't say, well, you gotta wait because I'm going to Aruba. When duty calls, you gotta go. It covers that. If you have business reasons and you have to cancel work-related things, insurance covers. Terrorist incidents, it covers. Now, hurricanes, if you bought the insurance because you knew a hurricane was coming and they said Hurricane Austin is coming, the moment that it changes from tropical storm to Hurricane Austin, it's not going to pay because it's a named storm if you're buying it after the storm has been named. However, the way to get around that, when you book your trip within 15 days, go ahead and book your insurance. I don't care if your trip is 2 years off. Book your insurance within that 15-day window. Then your hurricane is not a foreseen problem and it'll be covered. Event cancellation. I remember a rapper by the name of Ja Rule. He caught himself trying to do something like Steve Harvey does, the Sand and Soul Festival, where he have all these artists that come over and they do these concerts on the island. Well, whoever he hired, the promoters, they were crooks. And when the people some people, they didn't even make it on their flights. And when they got there, there was nothing. Well, in the event that you booked something like that and you got to an island and it was non-existent or canceled, guess what? Your insurance will cover that. It pays for strike. Now, if you live in the United States, that's like pretty important because we got strikes and riots going on. You go to a country and there's strikes and riots and you can't do anything but sit in the airport or you're stuck in your hotel room. That's pretty significant. Insurance will cover it. Quarantine. A lot of people got quarantined before the closures. They made it to the islands and the island said, you're American, you can't come out. And these people, they're stuck in their hotel rooms. Insurance pays it. You get subpoenaed to court or you got jury duty, it will pay it. Now, in the light of COVID-19, it is now a foreseen issue. Insurances are not covering because of COVID-19. However, almost every vendor that I deal with have been more than generous in the light of what's going on and this being a worldwide pandemic. They have been more than generous, not necessarily giving any money back because you didn't purchase the insurance, but they are giving credits, some even additional monies to rebook. They're being more than generous, although you need to book within that 15-day limit. There are added expenses that you can get with the travel assistance. That's free. Say you lose your passport, the insurance will help you to get these things so that you're able to go back through immigration and customs. There are things that you can add, like pre-existing exclusion waivers. Sometimes you have medical issues and you know you sick, and they say, you know you had that problem. With the higher tier insurances, all that's waived. Even if you have a pre-existing, they'll cover it. You can add rental car expense. If you rented a car on vacation, say you have a wreck, this little policy, it will cover it. It'll cover adventure sports coverage. Now, this time last year, we went on a vacation. These little smart women that I was with decided, hey, I want a zip line. But I was thinking to myself, you're not finna get me on no thin little rope and have me zipping through the sky. It don't look like it'll hold me, but guess what? When you don't do those things, the insurance covers in the event something happens. You have an airline ticket, accidental death and disbursement. I know you don't want to think of vacation and think of death in those terms, but last year a lot of people were falling dead on these islands, and their families had to get their bodies back home. So with travel insurance, it would have been covered. And the rates, they're so cheap. Let's just say you have somebody that's 36 years old and they bought a trip that was $900. All you would have to pay extra is $66. Say you had a 20-year-old that took a trip to Vegas, and the trip to Vegas was $450. $36 would be the cost. Let's just say somebody 65. They took a $1,000 trip. All they would have to pay is $92. Insurance is an investment. It's protection. It protects you in the event that something happens. It's better to have it and not need it than to need it and not have it. So I advise you to protect your investment. A vacation is an investment. It's an investment in you, in your life. Your peace of mind is important. Protect yourself with insurance. And I will post, this isn't a plug, because you don't have to buy insurance from me. You can buy insurance from, if you're going through Expedia, Expedia will ask you at the end, hey, for $20 more, would you like to buy insurance? Say yes, because that $20 will save you a headache in the end. I'm going to post my link for my insurance. I have two plans, a basic plan, which is just that, a basic plan, or a select plan, which is more high dollar, covers more things, gives you a little more coverage, pays out a little more. Look around. You don't necessarily have to purchase a trip from me, but you can come to me and say, hey, fantastic, I need insurance. I bought insurance from Southwest Vacations. I bought a vacation from Southwest Vacations, but I didn't take out the insurance. Can you cover me? And my answer is always yes. I thank you all for watching, and please protect your vacations. Thank you.